아줌마.
It's still giving me shocks. Like they just. Yeah.
People still in the subway.
So strange. It's so weird. Really bad for me.
I've never had that surgeon struck me.
Okay, what is this? What is this?
Scorpione.
Not very common in America.
We never tried.
Kind of taste that I've never tried.
I don't think I could eat it.
발리발리 문화 완전 싫어요.
Hundreds of planes. I never saw people was disembarking and I was like, Bali culture? I've been like 3 to 4 times.
So Bali, please.
I'd rather not have that culture.
It's still giving me shocks. Like they just. Yeah.
So cute. When people do it, I just want to go there and hug.
일본 도쿄에서 왔어요. 한국 서프라이즈. 크리스마스 트리 너무 예뻐요. 너무 아름다워요. 너무 큰 거. 맛지가 기레 너무 예뻐요. 아 또 그리고 한국 사람 너무 야사시 가게에서 도와줘서 너무 감사합니다.
아, 저는 도쿄에서 왔어요.
아니요. 네, 한국이에요.
아니요. 아, 저는 이번에 콘서트가 있어서 왔었는데 서울콘 처음이라서 진짜 재밌었어요. 보이넥스트 도어 네, 너무 잘생겼어요. 저 명재형 제일 좋아해요. 와서 콘서트 가서 지금 고한이 도착했어. 그리고 내일 아침에 도쿄 가요. 응, 콘서트만 때문에 왔어요. 내일 대학교 있어서
저도요.
같이 왔어요. 너무 좋아요.
Было. Меня, сколько вот мы приезжаем в Корею, всегда удивляет, как корейские мужчины пьют. В России мы давно так уже не делаем. Наверное, с 2000-х годов. Прилично одетые люди лежат на остановках. Ну, в России такого нет. Вот это для меня культурный шок. I don't see this in Russia now. But our men like to drink vodka. At home, nobody see. No street. On street we have a policeman and go. And you must pay for policeman. Yes.
The Korean people, it's very friendly and very nice. The Korea, it's very clear and like so much. And then it's so easy to move for the travel. And when you, the people, it's friendly. When you have any problem, you don't talk the Korean. Always some people, he come to help you. I like it, so very friendly. And then also I see you have a clear watch on the road. When you are busy in your phone, you have the clear line with the light, green light for working. I like this. The Korean people have very good idea.
Yes, I travel this car. It's very silent. India have too much loud. People also is vehicle also. By car also too much sound in India. But Korea in very silent. I like it. It's very good. Yes, it's too much cold also. And one more, I like Korean girls also. Yes, very beautiful.
I quite like Korea. I visited like 11 years ago, and the first time from that time I've been in here countless. I think it's like there's lots of people spitting in the streets. It's still giving me shocks. Like everyone just after having a cigarette, they're just spitting. Like yeah. Because normally it's not good, and there are lots of people, including lots of beautiful girls. After randomly they're just spitting, or their cigarettes they're just spitting. I'm like, it's still giving me shock actually.
タコの手長いタコのこれを食べるやつ踊り食いこのうわーっとこのでも美味しかった海鮮好きなので美味しかったごま油と塩がついてその足を食べるの美味しかった美味しい大好き
I'm impressed by the fact that everything is super organized. Korea runs on the clock. Everything's on time. Everything's perfect.
I don't know in Korea, but in Seoul, because I was staying in Seoul, people are nice and the city is like super beautiful. And I was shocked by the discipline of people. They follow the rules and the city is very clean, very well organized. So I was very shocked by these facts.
I think Seoul huge, So that's one of the biggest towns on earth. So there are many, many people, something that big we don't have in Germany. And every time I'm coming here, there's a new subway line. So that's always very interesting.
It's a lot cleaner than other countries. Very colorful as well.
Impressed most, I guess, the skincare products, because you guys have a lot of different things. We also have, but I'm just coming here and enjoying with them, actually, with the all products. Actually, like my friend, she's kind of expert, and like I'm taking all the information from her, and when I go to Turkey, I always apply all the things to my face, and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
I think the biggest shock for me was how quiet it was. Even for a big city, I was expecting it to be noisy and loud, but it was so quiet and just orderly, and everything just systematic and quiet, and yeah, I liked it. I'll be back.
I was very impressed with how organized, despite how big it is, and very efficient transportation systems. It was easy to move around between different points around the city. We were here just a few days, so it was very exhausting too, like how big it is. So that was kind of like a choking point for me, like how far the distances are between different parts of the city. But it was great in general to move around. Very interesting places. Yeah, and people is very nice here. Yeah.
Nuringji after food, and I was so surprised. What is this? It's so weird. I mean, are you eating or drinking something like cooked rice water? And it comes to be so weird, but after all, I am totally addicted. And second is, here people eating very hot and physically hot. It's still boiling and they're eating. And when it stops to boil, they said, "Ajumma." And I wait to stop. I mean, I cannot eat it. It's very hot. I feel that the sensors of the Korean tongues are very strong. And now I love hot. I am totally addicted. Except religion, our nationality characteristic is very, very same. Like here, people say "Aigo," we say "Aman." Or when they love a child, the same expression, same voice, the same attitude. It's very, very similar. And I heard some 속담. 천리길 한 걸음부터 왕순이도 나무에서 떨어질 때가 있다. 우리에게 왕순 말고 거기리 똑같은 속담. 그런 것처럼 속담이 많아요. Tradition and the cultures very, very similar.
Have Korean barbecue. Have Korean barbecue and have some nice beers. Very nice. Do some shopping. So yeah, third time. And the Korean barbecue, very good.
K-pop idol. Boy Next Door. 네, 어제 봤어. Yesterday. Very good. Exciting. 리한. 됐어. Very handsome.
That something that impressed me a lot is the kindness that people feel towards others and the politeness, greeting others in a really nice way. It really impressed me. The way that you try to help people and you try to comfort them, it's really nice. You have this gesture, thing that I really like. It's so cute. When people like do it, I just want to go there and hug them because it's so nice. Something really cute towards the other person that I really appreciate. Yeah.
I love Korean food. I love kimchi. I love samgyeopsal. Samgyeopsal is very famous in the Philippines. So we Filipinos really love to eat.
So I was impressed by the sheer amount of dessert cafes, basically every single street, but not only that, how well they're all designed, like the interior decoration. It's all beautiful.
I was shocked by the level of development. It's a really nice city. I wasn't expecting this, by the fact that it's literally shared between modernism and traditionalism. You can have both in the same country, you know? So that's very impressive. And by the discipline here, people are very disciplined. They follow the rules, they respect the rules. Always on time, everything is very clean. People respect the public spaces and everything, yeah. That's what I liked really. I love K-beauty, I love K-pop too. That's the reason I came here. Oh, my luggage is full. Beauty of Johnson, Cosrx's and everything. Laneige.
Probably it is very clean here. That's one thing. And then the weather. It's very cold.
Food, because so authentic, so delicious, super delicious. Kimbap, yes, very much.
I came here to do some shopping, so every time I come here, I find really nice things to buy. Cheap and nice things to buy, like this jacket. I like it so much. So I'm really impressed about the variety of things that I can shop from cosmetics, skincare, clothes, toys, Pop Mart. I find a lot of nice buys here, so good deal, nice buy, and the rare ones for my collections.
Impressed, yeah, I'm impressed by the transport here. Transport's good, and the food. I tried some Korean food, some noodles and stuff, and it's been good. I want to come back when it's warmer. Very cold, yeah, cold.
I think the most impressive thing, it was the people were so nice. The food was great. I like all Korean food, yeah. They have Korean restaurants back in Sydney, Australia, so I really like Korean food. That's why I really like Korea.
車が右側通行していることです。日本左なんで。そうです。
I think these days I'm so surprised Korea has so many international people. When I go to the GS25 or the CU, so many of employees are like students from Vietnam or from China. So I met a lot of international people here like working in Korea, not just visiting but actually living and working here. A lot of like college students. So I thought that's really cool.
どうしよう、私はタクシーのおじさんが嫌いで遠回りするから嫌いです。高い料金を請求されそうになって多分500円ぐらいの距離を3000円って言われます。ごめんなさい。
I only see the lights are very good. Shops, lights, bright, all different lights like this. India also have, but not this much. This is too much. I like it.
My security.
People still in the subway.
You use too much.
It was a little bit creepy.
If you're eating like this, that's not good.
Weekends for family.
I only just arrived in Korea, but on the plane, everyone was like super quiet, super polite to each other. Everyone was saying like thank you so much, like all the time. Like we didn't really like say that much thank you, but like that was kind of a little culture shock. That was one. And the other one was everyone is so well dressed. They really take care of themselves, like appearance-wise and stuff like that. And I was kind of shocked as well. Oh, another culture shock. You use cash too much. In Australia, we don't use as much cash now. Like it's kind of all Apple Pay or credit card, debit card. That's also a culture shock. I'll be more prepared next time. I'll prepare a lot of cash next time. And another culture shock is you are very kind. Thank you so much.
Yes, here is so much cold. Like in Brazil it's summer and here it's winter, and I never felt so cold like this. And the streets are very clean. In São Paulo that didn't. And the person here are like so shy and quickly. In São Paulo we don't have that. I feel that there people are always run away and they are not like don't care for other people. I think that's different here. Especially the clean. It's so clean here. You don't see any trash.
What shocked me in Korean culture to French culture is the respect of the rule in general, like transport, traffic light, for example. Traffic light not passed. In French, traffic light is red. The French passed. And nothing to do with. But I think the food in Korean is very, very spicy. Very, very spicy for the French people. But delicious.
아, 네, 있어요. 술 너무 많이 마시니까 그거 진짜 카우치 쇼크였어요. 그거 처음에 볼 때. 죽을 만큼 기억 없을 만큼 직장에 회식 가봤는데 제가 술 안 마셔요. 술 안 마시니까 술 안 마신 사람 그냥 술만 마시는 사람 보면 다 이렇게 보이니까 그래서 너무 신기했어요. 그거 어떻게 그 정도 마실 수 있지? 라고 그렇게 아 맞아 그 겨울에 완전 추운 날씨라도 슬리퍼 롱패딩만 입고 그냥 이렇게 돌아다닌 거. 그리고 그것도 안 입고 햇 같은 것도 많이 안 입잖아요 여기서. 아기들도 모자도 안 쓰고 추울 때. 근데 우리나라 가면 추우면 다들 다 이렇게 다 입고.
Yeah, the bus was really fast and taxi too. So
So I was a little bit aware of my security. Yeah, they had a good technique, so. Busan. This morning we have to go to the Busan station. Yeah, because of thanks to him, we had made it on time. So exactly like that. He was like, I was like, oh my god. That's really fast.
I don't think so. Maybe only it's really busy and everybody dresses really nice, but then when they put the shoes back on, they just like stomp it. They don't go down and take it out. They really stomp it. And I was shocked. Their shoes are so nice. I'm like, stop that. They don't take off their shoes a lot because if you go to like a gym or maybe a restaurant, anywhere, you don't take off your shoes. Yeah, only when you come home. And even some people wear their shoes in the home.
Yeah, well, I come from Mexico. Something that impacted me of the most is that I can just leave my things in everywhere and nobody will steal them. People like it's honesty. In Mexico, you leave something, they will extol immediately. Korea, that doesn't happen.
Not really a culture shock, but it's like the small nuances that you can see. For example, when I would give somebody something, people would use two hands, or they would just do like with one hand and hold the hand. We don't really have this. It's not a culture shock, it's just that I noticed this. The fashion and everything, like the beauty standards, maybe are really, it seems that people are pressured into some sort of a beauty standards. So I can see a lot of, people doing makeups in the subway. Also guys wearing makeup, and that's also something I don't see that often in Prague. And everybody looks like it's a normal thing, like people are still wearing things in their hair, like to make them curly in the subway. But it's not the culture shock, it's just that it's different.
It's not big culture shock, it's very surprising for me because many Koreans like evening with day spend on shiktanas, hueshiks, drink drinks, and a lot of people like after work it's meet together. Usually in Russia it's Friday or Saturday evening, just today. In Korea just work the week, Monday up to Friday, every evening. Weekend for family.
Yeah, weather. Cold weather. Our country is normal weather, summer and raining only. This country have a cold, different type of weather. Yeah, so cold. This is my first time so cold.
Probably they're like very disciplined, like the city like very clean and everything.
They follow rules, they're very strict and follow the rules and everything. That's made me, very smart.
And pretty smart too.
It's different. South America, the people is not disciplined at all. They doing whatever they want to do.
文化食皿お皿を持ってたらいけないご飯の時にホールド
Yes, meat. Koreans are meat lovers and I'm vegetarian, so that's been a shock. It's hard to find restaurants where there's no meat anywhere because I used to think French loved meats, but really not as much as Koreans do.
Yeah. I feel like in Korea, there are like certain standards for everything, like defined standards, like beauty standards or kind of standards. So, for example, one thing that shocked me is that people here, I feel they like the same kinds of dogs. When we were in Busan, just walking outside, I swear like 9 out of 10 of pet owners we saw, they had exactly the same race of dog. It was a little bit creepy. They had maybe Maltese or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's very, very cold, especially it's winter right now. Yeah. Of course, the language difference and transportation here are very modern compared to Indonesia. Like better transportation and also maybe from the food. What do you think?
I agree.
Нет, я не испытывала культурный шок, но некоторые моменты были странные. Корейцы много пьют алкоголя, это да. Также иногда очень громко говорят в ресторане, когда выпивают алкоголь. Мне очень было необычно, что мужчины следят за собой и пользуются косметикой, декоративной косметикой. А в России мужчины никогда не пользуются тоном, какими-то помадами цветными или брови не делают. Это никогда. Маникюр супер редко. Только женщины. А в Корее мужчины пользуются всем этим, и есть много косметики для мужчин. В России этого нет.
Yes, I was shocked when I firstly arrived here. The weather is really freezing. I never expect it to be that freezing, but actually I managed to, wear all this winter clothing. So yes, I managed to get through it. I did buy hot pack here. It was very helpful actually.
Yeah, we didn't really experience any culture shock, but one thing I was wondering about is whether or not it's socially acceptable to like eat while holding a bowl of food, or do you have to have the bowl on the table? Because I just heard that that's one thing that like, oh, you shouldn't do it. We're very informal. I think one thing growing up my father would tell me not to do is when I'm eating, you can't eat with your elbows on the table. If you're eating like this, that's not good.
No, I really like Korea so far. We've been the first night in Korea and we went to have a lovely Korean barbecue first time. But we really like it so far. We're going into Seoul tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow? I don't know. The only thing I know of Korea I've seen is Squid Games. You know Squid Games? Yes, I watched this. It's very good. Not yet.
Originally we are from Russia, but we are nomading for a few years and currently we stay in Vietnam and Thailand. No, not really, because it's a very modern country with a very developed city. Because we were only in Seoul, we didn't see other places, but since we are in Asia for some time, it feels very comfortable and nothing is shocking here.
Yeah, so basically shocking maybe in a good way, for it's very clean city, Seoul.
Good shock.
Not really. I grew up in Los Angeles, but I'm from Mexico originally, so kind of used to like the difference in culture. A little bit. I guess just the food. But everybody's nice, so not too much of a culture shock.
Not really. I mean, I already expect, so I didn't have any culture shock. Because we already like survey everything first before we come. When we so many subways, I think that's the only things that at first it was a bit confused, but after we have to experience, then only we are used to it. Yeah.
I shocked in the weather, winter. It's so cold. My first experience is freezing.
Korea, my shocking is city is very bright and too much colorful. People are too much going. I'm very shocked. This thing is too much panorama. I'm very shocked. I'm very shocked.
I really like the mindset of the Korean people. So for me, it's not a shock, but for many people there are. But for some people are like, oh, if you are foreigners, they're maybe mean to you. But I didn't experience that because I'm trying to like integrate with Korean self. So if I'm going slowly, then they're like appreciate, like, whoa, nice.
Culture shock, no, because in my island too, there's a lot of foreign people, Chinese, Korean, Indian, and then even America, being in America, there's a lot of other people. So I experience a lot of culture. And in my culture, I respect our elders, older people. So I'm not really, the culture, no.
So strange. It's so weird.
You'd see groups of like 20 people. People were.
So like here, like that is not a thing at all.
I can't handle it. It's really bad for me.
I've never had that surgeon struck me.
車がたくさん路上に駐車されてて、日本では見ないからびっくりしました。電車がすごい分かりやすくて迷わなくてすごいいいなって思いました。
I'm just impressed by how kind the Korean people are, and so helpful. Like they're always willing to help you. If we're lost and they can see you're struggling, they'll come up and help you. They're so kind.
And that we have to pull the food out and put it in the trash here. In the United States, there are garbage disposals and you just switch a button on and it grinds up the food in the sink. So you don't have to do a food waste bag. There's no food waste bag. So it was different.
I've never had that surgeon struck me. We bury our food in the garden, so...
Oh, good. That's more useful.
Deux choses qui m'ont impressionné, qui m'ont choqué plutôt. La première, c'est le temps limite pour les restaurants. En France, on a plutôt l'habitude de prendre beaucoup de temps à manger, de prendre son temps, d'être en famille. Et dans beaucoup de restaurants en Corée, j'ai vu une limite de temps de 90 minutes ou alors 2 heures. Et franchement, quand on n'est pas habitué, on se dit « Ah, on n'a pas le temps !» Ou alors, comme deuxième truc qui m'a choqué, c'est vraiment le calme et la sécurité qu'on n'a plus du tout en France. On commence à avoir beaucoup de délinquance qui commence à arriver et c'est dommage, c'est vraiment dommage.
Hello! I recently got to visit South Korea for the first time to visit my best friend Nicole, who lives there. Nicole and I got to visit Seoul, Busan, Cheongsong, and Pohang, which was absolutely incredible. What was something shocking that I came across in South Korea? I definitely had a little bit of culture shock, especially on the airplane, the Incheon airport. because I noticed that just about right away, there was a lot less personal space than I was used to people giving. In America, personal space is very important, and there's this effort that's made by most people to not touch each other if possible. Whereas when I got to Korea and when I was interacting with people on that first plane, people were elbowing each other and kind of just forcing their way through, and were more comfortable touching each other than I was used to. So that was something that definitely I had to adjust to. And then once I'd adjusted, I became much more used to it. And the other thing, it wasn't a shock, but it was something that grew on me very quickly, was that everyone bows in Korea to greet, to thank, to apologize, to say goodbye. And so very quickly, I got into the habit of bowing. In America, the customary greeting is to shake hands. And so bowing was something that I'm not used to doing, but that I enjoyed doing. I thought it was a really neat aspect of the culture that I got to experience. So yeah, till next time.
I'm from Indonesia, Depok. Yeah, Depok. I'm really surprised for weather. Weather in here very cold and I can handle it. It's really bad for me. Oh my god, I really don't like only the weather.
Well, right now, just coming out the climate, I didn't know what it would be like, so that surprised me. How nice everyone has been. Like, I'm able to ask people, and even if we don't understand, people help me. And also the shock of, I'm pretty good with languages, I thought. I'm not in Korea. I've been taking classes, and it's just, I feel like I know absolutely nothing. I'm just, people say something, and I'm like, what? So that was a shock. But also, it's so quiet. Like, this kind of area would have, like, construction or something in America. Like, I'm so surprised how quiet it is. Like, honestly, like, it doesn't feel like I'm in a city or anything. It feels like I'm in a tiny town. It's super quiet. It's like, you hear the car driving, but, like, there's no honking, there's no, like, drilling, nothing. It's very quiet. It's so strange. It's so weird. Anywhere you go, it doesn't matter. Like, when my parents live in a small town, and when I go, even there, they're in the middle of the woods, and it's louder than here. I don't know. So, very surprising. But yeah, in the city, oh gosh, the people yelling, and there's always construction, and it's super loud, so very, very different. This is nice. Nice and peaceful.
It's I like how it's really friendly here. It's really, everybody's really respectful here. Yeah, it's not like that in America.
I want to say compact, but there's so many people, and like, sometimes what was shocking is there's like personal space in the U.S. So like here, like that is not a thing at all. It's like you could be literally right next to somebody.
Yeah.
I think that was like the biggest culture shock.
Yeah.
Was just like there's no personal space.
Really well, good urbanistic for city, because it's good subway, good buses and good streets, so you can travel from one part of city to another part of city so easily, and you don't think you're standing 1 hour in metros or something, so you didn't notice.
I like how city looks in general, because everywhere is pieces of nature. So this natural landscape integrated very well in cityscape. But it's also very nice that city somehow on these mountains. So it feels really good. And a lot of parks, people walk a lot in the parks. And also a lot of cute dogs people have, a lot of small cute dogs. And everyone is, I've noticed it like everywhere, people very happy when you approach them to look at their dog. And they're very happy to show you this dog and give you to pet it, and it feels really nice, so you don't feel uncomfortable because you just, oh, this dog is so cute, and people don't mind if you ask to pet it maybe or make a photo, so people feel good about it. Another good thing that I've noticed is very popular, that people have this change dress for national dresses and make photo sessions. So people change dress and make photos. I think it's in Asia maybe so popular. We saw it in Vietnam, I think, as well. But here a lot of special shops to change dress, and it looks good. People look beautiful, and also very beautiful castles, temples, style of Korean traditional architecture because of these pine trees. Yeah, so very beautiful.
Hello. I have been living in Busan for about 1.5 years now. Something that was shocking, I think that the smoking was very shocking to me. It was a much bigger deal in Korea than I thought it would be. You'd see groups of like 20 people smoking. I think that's pretty much it. Maybe lack of space also. Because I've watched a lot of K-dramas and they don't show a lot of smoking. And obviously I know K-dramas aren't an accurate representation, but it was something that I just wasn't expecting to see. So thank you for interviewing us.
I think what shocked me about Korean travel is how clean the facilities are and how easy it is to just get from point A to point B. Well, at least where I'm from, we don't have public transportation like this robust, so it's nice to be able to travel easily.
To include that is the amount of convenience that are offered to everyone, either locally or tourists, and the amount of help that everybody's willing to give. So I really appreciated that.
Surprised the weather is very bad because when I came here, I think it's -10 and it's very freezing because in Indonesia we don't have any winter season, right? So it's very surprise for me, and that's make me I don't want to go anywhere, just staying in the hotel.
A tecnologia coreana é muito importante, pois a Coreia é meu país de número 51 em que visito e nunca em nenhum aeroporto a imigração se comunicou comigo em português como aqui na Coreia, e isso me surpreendeu muito. Me comuniquei quando me foi solicitado alguns dados, um aparelho eletrônico falou comigo em meu idioma local, em português.
It was so amazing, the culture, the people here. I was shocked and it's so beautiful. I really want to come back here. I really like the streets here, also like the smaller streets because it kind of reminds me of Japan and it was so beautiful, and also the people, temples were also really beautiful. I really like the culture, it's amazing. I definitely recommend.
Ordering the tickets, very nice. We've been to Switzerland and this was even a little easier than the Swiss train station, so take that as a compliment.
Ma sinceramente non mi ha scioccato quasi nulla. Ho visto tante manifestazioni, quello che un po' mi ha stupito.
I did not try that, to be honest.
Okay, what is this? What is this?
Breakfast. First thing in the morning.
Курочку, потом на вкус скорпиона.
Not very common in America.
We never tried.
Kind of taste that I've never tried.
I don't think I could eat it.
This is probably the most difficult country I've ever been to.
This is my first time in Korea, and so on the airplane ride over, I had the red pepper paste, and it came in a little tube, and I was very surprised that you just came in a tube and you just put it all over your food.
Or you just squirt it in your mouth. Like toothpaste, you put it on your toothbrush. I should have brought it with me, but anyway. Take it off and you can put it on your kimchi. Spice it up even more. The taste is very spicy, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I love Korean food, but for me, the most shock will be, the octopus or the crab. When they give it to me, but it was alive, and then they put it in the boiled water, and they were suffering, I mean, I love it because the taste it was really good because it's a fresh food, but they were alive. It's shocking for me because we don't do like this. When you go in Mexico and buy the fish food, it's already dead. So for me it was the most shock. And also when I go like to the shops, for example to the convenience store, and you can find the octopus, and the octopus is the dehydrator, like is in a bag, in a plastic bag, and you can take it, the fish, the octopus. This is for me the most impacted or shocked, but I love it. I mean, I love it, yeah.
I saw duck bulgogi for breakfast once, and that was pretty shocking to me. Breakfast. First thing in the morning. Yeah, because I thought it would be dinner or lunch, or maybe lunch, but probably dinner. Not really, no. It's like eggs or a lot of carbs, like pancakes, waffles, maybe bacon too, but definitely not duck. Yeah, to have exactly, that's what it is.
I think that there's two things that I have not tried to eat. One is the octopus that you chop, that is still moving, and you should eat it. I did not try that, to be honest. The other thing is silkworms. So I will not. I've eaten bugs before, but I have not tried this, no.
When I saw there's a plate with pork belly, it's not something we usually eat, especially us. And then when I saw it, okay, what is this? What is this? not ew, but what is actually this? And then someone said it was pork belly, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if I'm gonna. No, I don't think I'm gonna try this pork, but yeah. No, Canadian people do not eat pork. They eat bacon.
They do sometimes, like in tacos.
Is it super Mexican?
Common, yeah,
it's more Mexican than Canadian.
Yeah.
The most shocking Korean food that I have tried was lotus in a sesame sauce. I've never had anything like that. It was delicious. We don't have texture like that in the United States. I don't think we really eat it at all. So I really enjoyed it. I liked it very much. A+.
Okay, well, for me, I'm a pescatarian, so I don't eat chicken, beef. The only thing I eat is fish and obviously vegetables and eggs and cheese. 22 years now, and everything has meat in South Korea. I've been to over 50 countries now. This is probably the most difficult country I've ever been to. Every time I look at something, it's like, oh, for example, I got a vegetable sandwich today. It was 2,000 South Korean won. Excellent deal. I get the vegetable sandwich, big piece of ham in it. They could have called it ham sandwich. It might have sold better, in fact, but they called it vegetable sandwich. Everything else, too, I grabbed that even has fish in it. I look at it. Oh, yeah, pork, beef, kimchi pork beef. So it's been a little challenging for me. Even a lot of the fish I find has beef, like, somewhere in it. Domino's Pizza looked fantastic. Went to Domino's Pizza. They had a beautiful looking, like, tiger prawn pizza. And then you look at the fine print, sprinkled with beef dust. I mean, really? I mean, even if I used to eat meat a long time ago, I don't remember mixing beef and seafood that much. I mean, so a little bit strange. They like meat. They liked a lot of meat. Anywhere they can put it. It's a little tricky.
I stayed in a hotel and I got up in the morning and was walking around and I saw a lot of seafood and squid, and that was very shocking for breakfast food to have seafood, and which not very common in America. Seafood only maybe dinner in America.
Целиком жареные маленькие крабы. Хрустящую оболочку, и вкус был сначала похож на курочку, потом на вкус скорпиона. Ну, в общем, это очень странный вкус, но он понравился, в принципе. Не едят. Во фритюре не жарят целых крабиков маленьких. Они, так его не едят.
Меня как бы не удивило, но мне как-то стало непривычно от того, что тут продаются сосиски прям в упаковках по одной штучке, прям готовые сразу. Потому что у нас продаются сосиски замороженными, и их несколько штучек. Или же у нас продаются одна большая нитка такая сосисок сплетенная. А тут они прям одни и сразу готовые.
Еще меня удивило, что здесь в супермаркетах ты можешь приготовить лапшу и дополнительно взять кусочек сыра, например, так, те же самые сосиски, соус маленький. Когда у нас нужно все покупать по отдельности и готовить дома. А здесь ты можешь делать это прямо здесь и сейчас, сделать любой себе перекус, взять даже в магазине перекус и все съесть.
Most shocking is a live octopus. When we first realized that Koreans eat a live octopus, it was very scary and very shocking. We never tried, but maybe we will try it.
The first food that I ate when I came here was kimchi, that I know now that is very spread, and at the moment for me that I've never been here and I never tasted was quite shocking because it's a kind of taste that I've never tried, but now after 2 weeks I like it, and I think that I will try also to eat it in Italy if I find it. Yeah. It's great. And every time I go to my lunch, I kind of miss if they don't give me kimchi. So I became a little bit of like Korean people, I think.
I think it's the octopus, where when you get served it on the plate, it's all like moving around. On YouTube, I haven't tried it. It's shocking. I don't think I could eat it.
For me, it was to try living octopus. It was on the main market in Seoul. And one girl, she was sitting next to me and she said that I can try it. And I tried and it was really shocked. It was the first time when I tried something living to eat. It was a strange feeling. It was not bad. It was cold. It was strange. It was moving inside. I could feel it here. It was really funny feeling. I have a video of the octopus which was moving on the plant, and I even sent it to my family, and they were really shocked that it's possible to see it on the plate, and even worse that I tried to eat it.
Los mariscos, el desayunar con mariscos, las parrilladas son muy deliciosas, tienen comida de verdad exquisita. Los mariscos los utilizamos para la hora de la comida, posiblemente la cena, pero para desayunar nunca.
I think for me, the food I was least used to was intestine and K-barbecue. I was used to like the rib, the flank steak and everything, but I wasn't used to intestine and tripe, which I know is like very common. And I think there's some Korean dishes that only have that type of meat, so that was a very surprising dish to me. In America, I had never eaten.
I think the most shocking Korean food, probably octopus on a skewer. I saw in Yeongnam Market. No, it wasn't alive. It was dead. Octopus and baby crabs. Shocking. Back in the United States, we don't eat octopus really, or baby crabs. It looked interesting. I didn't want to try it. I don't know, my stomach would take it well. Maybe if I were here longer, I would have tried it.
Well, I still haven't had it, and I don't know where to get it, but I still want to try, and I've seen it on videos. When people eat squid, but alive squid, and they cut the tentacles, and then you see the squid moving all around, I truly want to try that, but I don't know where in Korea I can have that. You don't find that in America or Puerto Rico. I guess it's just something unique. I'm always looking for different and new experiences. I've had horse meat before. It was weird, but I had the time and the opportunity to do it, so I said, why not, right? I'm down to try it.
In Taiwan, Korean food is really popular. Most shocking Korean food is Shin Ramen. A lot of people like this, but it's so spicy. I can't eat that. You know, the pink one. Oh, that one's so spicy. I think Korean people eat too spicy. I don't know if that's true or not. For me, yeah. In Korean cuisine, it's like spicy and sweet.
발리발리 문화 완전 싫어요.
Hundreds of planes. I never saw people was disembarking and I was like,
So no for us.
Bali Bali culture? I've been like 3 to 4 times.
So Bali Bali, please.
I'd rather not have that culture.
I think we just are a lot slower, a bit more lazy. I would like to take it because things get done really quickly over here, which is nice.
처음 왔을 때 사실 완전 큰 충격인 줄 알았는데 고향이랑 좀 비슷해요. 산팔로에서도 대도시이라서 발리발리 문화도 있고 근데 한국에서는 가끔 좋아요, 가끔 싫어해요. 예를 들어 식당에 갈 때는 발리발리 문화 완전 싫어요. 왜냐하면 브라질에서 그 식당에 갈 때는 보통 2시간, 3시간 동안 저기에 계속 있어요. 천천히 주문하고 천천히 먹고 다음에 천천히 얘기도 하고 이런 식으로 하는 건데 보통 2시간 동안 식당에서 계속 있지만 한국에서 이렇게 하면은 절대 예의가 없는 거잖아요. 그래서 한국에서 그건 좀 충격을 받았고 특히 한국인 친구들 그 식당에 있을 때 이렇게 천천히 드세요. 절대 천천히 먹으면 안 돼요. 진짜 빨리빨리 먹어야 돼요. 이런 점에서 좀 싫어하는 것 같은데 한국에서 몇 년 동안 이제 살았으니까 익숙해진 것 같아요. 예를 들어 건강 처리하는 거 그런 거 항상 빨리빨리 하니까 편해요. 아니면 은행 갈 때 이런 서비스 이용할 때 다 빨리빨리 하고 더 편해요. 브라질보다. 은행 가면은 3시간, 4시간 계속 있을 것 같아요. 그래서 한국에 왔고 은행 처음에 갔을 때 되게 와 그렇게 빨리 문제는 다 해결할 수 있냐? 라는 생각이 들었어요.
Yeah, we know. We saw today in the airplane because people got out of the airplane Bali Bali, like very fast. Like I've been in hundreds of planes in the world. I never saw like people was disembarking and I was like, oh. And also I know League of Legends and StarCraft and I always follow the Korean gaming scene and the Korean players Bali Bali their things too. Smart and they're smart and fast, yeah. I'm very Bali Bali too. And she's not, but I'm...
Honestly, my culture is more laid back. They're more laid back. When I'm taking my time, I would just like laid back, but most of the time I would just like rushing because I don't want to be late. Even though I very early, I will also walking fast. For my preference, I would take it because I also like to be pali-pali because I don't like slow things, like when people walking slowly. So I like when they walking very fast, when they are rushing, yeah. walk together with them. I think I will be local.
Pali culture. I know the word, but I never knew the culture. So it was the first time. It was really shocking how quickly people do things here in Korea.
Yes, like pali.
Yes, we needed to, okay. Oh my God, what's happening? For me, no, I'm a slow person.
Yeah, me too. Very slow person.
Me too.
Me too. And you?
Yes, me too.
Yeah, so no for us.
Yes,
take it because I kind of saw both when I went Daegu to take breakfast or brunch. It was more like American style, American culture breakfast. So they took forever. The American was amazing, but if you're like Thai from another place to come over here with a short time because you have to take the bus, taxi, train, all kind of stuff, that took like a long time for us to go to Busan. So it was amazing breakfast, but it kind of affected more our time management to do stuff. But when we went to like a lot of Korean restaurants, for example, Korean barbecue, that was like, oh, you choose this, boom, instantly get it, and then you're like enjoying the food, and then you cook it, all that kind of stuff, and then like they're kind of like paying attention to you, and then you get more. It's like, wow, like I kind of want to go this more. Like that breakfast, I only went once. Korean barbecue, like with the Bali Bali culture, I've been like 3 to 4 times. Really good.
Personally, I actually think I find a lot of value in taking things slowly. I understand in Korean culture, they like to really do things quickly because of everything's in a rush. But I think in life, if you rush things, then you miss the opportunity of like the quality of life.
For me, I'm someone who is really indecisive, takes too long making decisions. So I would want to learn from the Korean culture of just making decisions because I make choices really slowly. I spent 1 hour choosing between 2 pairs of jeans today. So
At Uniqlo.
so pali pali is just go.
I want to take it because I mean in this very fast and moving fast country you have to bali bali putakyo bali bali every day. Might as well do everything bali bali. The more bali bali, the more time you have to enjoy. So bali bali, please.
I wouldn't say it's too different. I think it's pretty good. I like to very quickly and focused and get things done on time, and yeah.
In São Paulo, everything is also very, very fast and there's a lot of traffic. So I kind of live like that, but I want to slow down a little bit. So I'm coming here to try to slow down. Maybe, I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'll try. I want to make it slowly.
Because we are on vacation and we try to slowly our life because in São Paulo is quickly. We choose South Korea, Seoul.
Maybe we choose wrong? I don't know.
Yes.
엄청 좋아요. 왜냐하면 일 빨리빨리 하면 우리 앞으로 했는 들 있잖아요. 이거는 또 빨리 할 거예요. 그러니까 한국에 제일 좋은 대로 하면은 빨리빨리 했는 대로. 한국 사람은 일 빨리빨리 할 거예요. 나 오는 시간에는 한국말 하나도 몰라요. 아무도 모르겠으니까 그냥 가만히 있는데 한국말 배우고 일 배우고 지금 한국말 따라하고 있어요. 지금은 일 빨리빨리 하고 있어요. 다 빨리빨리 하고 있어요. 지금은 내 생각에는 이 사람은 또 빨리 하면 좋아요.
Told me about the Bali Bali. I think it's one of the things that helped this country to grow up so deeply and so fast. But I think that is very different from Italian culture, especially in the south. People try to do the things not too much Bali Bali, but also to try to enjoy free time and to have a good balance between work and also free time. So I will try not to keep it, but to keep in mind and maybe to do the things in this way only during a limited period of the journey of the day. Yeah, not Bali Bali, but slowly.
I say no because I like to relax a little bit and not be so rushed to do things.
It depends. If I have to get there on time, then yes, I like to hurry, or funny putty.
It was really good.
It was good, but I think both of us, we love things being done quickly and efficient and being very proactive. So for us, being pali pali is what works for us. We are a very type A person, so everything needs to be organized, everything needs to be scheduled, everything needs to be on time. The food cannot take too long to be made.
In one word, I am a teacher.
Oh yeah.
So I need pali pali. Everything I need pali pali. For me, yes.
For me too, but I don't think it would work for the country just yet. I don't think we are ready for it.
We need a time for it.
Yeah, we need a lot of
Our country need a lot of time for it.
Yeah, slowly. There needs to be a lot of other stuff working first before the people can be more faster, more pali pali and more efficient, yes.
Bali Bali culture, I personally prefer doing things slower. I don't mind waiting a little bit. Sometimes taking things a little bit slower, in my opinion, is better. You get to enjoy stuff in life. I guess services in general, it's good to have them quick, but things like eating specifically eating, I'd rather not have that culture personally.
I think Australia is very slow. Yeah, it takes a long time to do anything there, so it's kind of cool to be in a place that's so exciting and fast, like Korea. Yeah, it's good and bad. I think it's good to do things slowly as well, but I have a habit of doing things as quickly as I can a lot of the time as well, so I understand.
Bueno, en sí a mí me gusta ser muy puntual en lo que hago. Me fascinó la cultura coreana porque todo lo tienen a la perfección, todo está muy bonito, todo funciona muy bien. También la tecnología, no se diga, está impresionante. En pocas palabras, sí me gustaría que en mi país se adoptara eso de querer mejorar y de querer hacer todo bien para que todo funcione mejor.